right, so what's up, guys? It is December 18th. I just got back home from work and figured it was about time to kind of finally do the voiceover slash video for this week and also talk about the recent competition. So, over the weekend, I did the unsanctioned H-Town barbell, I believe it was called the Clang and Bang, which, interesting name, but had a good time. I finally had the opportunity to pull on a deadlift bar. So if you're not familiar with me and my competition history, I've always competed in like the USAPL slash IPF back when those were intertwined. And so no experience with the deadlift bar whatsoever. Didn't even know it was going to be on a deadlift bar until the day of the meet. But how I ended up kind of wrapped up in this whole unsanctioned powerlifting meet situation was that one of my friends just reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you want to join my team? We need people for this competition where it's going to be based off of dots and teams are competing against each other and each team represents like a different gym." Now, I've like day passed a few times at the gym that I was representing, so I mean, I'm not completely unfamiliar, but whole time I was kind of like, is this allowed?
Is this allowed? What the fuck? Is that allowed?
Still got paid though. Oof. So, friend invited me to join the meet back in October. I'm like, let's do it. Let's get paid. I need the money. And the day finally rolls around. I didn't really prep for this because this whole time I've been in prep for the Texas State Championship, which is a sanctioned meet that'll be taking place in about a month in San Antonio. But I did want to do the meet anyway, at least have the chance to win some money, have some fun with one of my buddies who I've been powerlifting with now for the majority of my time in the sport. And so Saturday rolls around. Go weigh in. I'm like 110.1. It's an unsanctioned meet. It really doesn't matter. And I'm like, wow, I'm pretty heavy now, man. And after weighing in, go get some food, get something to drink, because I really didn't prepare for this whatsoever. Like typically prior to a meet, like go grocery shopping and go pick out a bunch of like high carb foods and also high sodium things to help with water retention during the meet, and also plenty of stuff to hydrate with. But went in and did this competition off some Chick-fil-A and a couple of breakfast tacos from My Fit Foods. So yeah, nothing crazy going on. But the original plan, since this wasn't something that was supposed to be a big deal or like a really high effort thing, was that I'm supposed to just go in, squat 585, bench like 386, and deadlift 705. Like pretty casual. All of these numbers at this point, I think I've hit 4 reps in some of the past blocks, except for like the 705, which done that some years ago. I haven't done that recently. And yeah, wasn't supposed to be anything super difficult. And 9 for 9, that's how I've typically gone when it comes to competition. I've got a pretty reasonable history of not missing attempts, so I was pretty confident in my ability just to do this going in. And so get through with the 585 squat pretty mindless, and I'm looking at the team, and so the team consisted of myself, one of my friends, this guy Death Grip Derek, who's an absolute monster, and another person from H-Town. I didn't realize that you had to be top 3 on the winning team in order to get paid. And, I had a good feeling my team's going to win. But the other person who goes to H-Town Barbell was squatting more than me. It looked like he was going to bench more than me. And so bench starts to kind of kick off for the women. We start to warm up for bench. I'm doing calculations trying to figure out like what exactly do I need to hit in order to not lose whatever amount of money is on the table. Because at that point, I'm not even sure how much I'm gonna get paid. I just know it's supposed to be like north of $600. So I'm emotionally invested enough anyway to go for it. And start just like running dots calculations. I've got like my notes app just full of like, okay, if this person hits this, I was operating based off of the comp that he did back in like November. What do I need to put up? And so like I get through bench, I stick to the plan because obviously my goal isn't to get like super taxed on bench. In my head, this isn't the time to get totally beat up. And once deadlift rolls around, because at this point I'm already 6 for 6, but deadlift rolls around, I'm thinking, okay, how much do I need to deadlift in order to win? And I'm thinking that after each one of the attempts goes by, I think I opened with like 650, pretty calm, pretty chill, paying attention to what my competitor is putting up, because at the end of the day, dude, I just want to make a buck. Like, this is not something crazy serious to me. I hit my first, he hits his first. I hit my second with, I think, 699 on the dot. Nothing crazy. Still feeling pretty confident. I'm like, okay, let's see what this guy puts up for third. And so for my second, I just put in 345 kg. So, like 760. I'm thinking, I've got that. Like, I'm pretty confident. Especially after like hitting 750 not too long ago. Like, I didn't think it was gonna be mission impossible. I didn't think I was gonna have to pull like 800 pounds to beat this dude on dots. And he puts in his last attempt, he hits it. It's 302.5. I'm like, okay, well, doing the dots calculation based off of what I had already put up, I needed 7.5 more kilos on what I had put in for my third attempt. My third attempt was currently sitting at 345. That's the most that I've ever just deadlifted flat out. And like, it's been some time. I've had some time to get decently strong, so it's not a huge concern, but it's still like, oh, that's the most I've ever deadlifted. And so I go up to the table and I tell him to bump it 7.5 kilos, load it up, 777. Kind of ridiculous, kind of a like, oh, am I really about to pull this? Like, this feels like a Hail Mary. And thinking about the fact that that's a 77-pound jump, that's a little big. That's a little big. Like, usually I'll go 45 pounds, like maybe a little bit more than that, like closer to 50, 55, nothing too crazy. 77 pounds, kind of crazy, just in my opinion, because I've never done that before. That's all new to me. But I load it up. I get them to load it up. Go to the platform, and I think I'll just show you the video so you can just see what happens. But yeah.
Let's go! Come on, Evan, let's go!
Hopefully you're not too shocked. My buddy Colin, who was recording this, said he didn't think I was going to get it the second I started shaking. And he said that after the meet while we were eating canes, and I was just like, I didn't know if I was going to get it, but I had faith, and I'm glad it all worked out. Because 777 is quite a bit, but having a little bit of a, I guess, mental battle, because it wasn't really a battle. Like, this was chill, man. But having that kind of like moment of, oh wow, I need to pull this much in order to hit like this dots that I've already hit significantly higher than. Came to the realization that I should probably lose some weight, because competing at 110, I don't think my like baseline strength is where it would make sense. Like, not super satisfied with the potential dots that I would be putting up with the total that my coaches kind of agreed upon or accepted, that we've talked about anyway. So, getting into talking about not competing at 110, pretty much saying I plan on pulling out of the Texas State Championship, Texas State Champs meet. I don't think it's the time. I want to spend a couple of months just probably working my way down to 105 or sub 105 and give PA a shot. I don't think that this is going to be anything too crazy. Like, if I take it a kilo a month and compete into the summer, I'm not really doing too bad. And that hopefully shouldn't lead to too much of like strength losses or even like stalling strength gains. So yeah, but looking at the 832.5 total at 110 that I talked about with my coach. That would be kind of the goal for Texas State champs. Um, that would only put me at a 493 dots. So yeah, not super excited for that. I hit 499.6 before, so and that's super annoying because it's like right there. But for the longest, I've just wanted to finally take that little jump into 500 just to say, okay, I've got a 500 plus. Because the only way to say that I have a 500 is if we're rounding up. Like I feel like that's lame. Let me actually get there. Probably start looking for meets. Honestly, I could look at meets after this video. I'm not really too stressed about it, but yeah, given that that's my previous best, if I put up the 832 and a half at 105, I think that puts me at like a 503. So that's pretty chill. And if I'm competing into the summer, I feel like if anything, we're going to be at a point higher than 832. Like these are all kind of, or the 832 number just came about due to the fact that this is my first meet with my current coach. Like I've only been getting coached by him now, I think 5 or 6 blocks, which in my mind anyway, that's not too long of a period of time, especially given that like with my previous coach, we were together for like 4 years, man. We were rocking steady. But segueing out of talking about the next meet and talking more about the end of the previous block, because got to give some closure. Like last video was the end of one block. This video gonna talk about the end of the block that I just completed. Because I want to at least get the footage off, dude. Like I already have it. I might as well show you. So yeah, nothing crazy. No huge PRs, dude. No significant PRs, but we're hitting all the caps. So that's kind of what matters. Like sure, everyone wants to hit a massive PR, but at the end of the day, like I'm just sticking to the plan. And so squatting 611, benching 363, that was the only PR for a triple, which did not move terribly. And then deadlifting 727 and 606 for a set of 5. Decently proud of the 606 for a set of 5, but there is a but. I do vividly remember being able to pull like 595 for 7 at like light speed, and then at my very best I was pulling 628 for 7, and it was multiple sets because my training revolved around straight sets. So going forward, I am looking to, catch back up to that under this new kind of training structure. Just because, you'll have these old PRs, but when you change up your training entirely, it's not really always going to compare the same. So, yeah, looking forward to improving on that. Looking forward to building. I don't know, I'm starting to think I really just more so like the training aspect of powerlifting than I do the huge competitions, but competing, it definitely gets your heart going. Like I cannot lie, I did enjoy that little unsanctioned meet, but it very much did give me kind of my competition fix for however long. Like I'm now currently not stressed whatsoever about missing out on state champs, because at the end of the day I wasn't hugely ambitious about like going to USAPL nationals. It would have been cool to go, like I've been before, but I don't think I'm necessarily gonna be feeling the FOMO. Like I've seen what goes on, but a lot more people are moving to powerlifting America at this point anyway, and I don't think I was in any position to like take a title at 110. So final points, because this is the end of the year video and I'm yapping like crazy. So this is also just past my first kind of like year anniversary of posting on YouTube. I got like a notification to the little like YouTube analytics app. I think it was last week on, I want to say Wednesday or Thursday, saying like, "Hey, you've been doing this for a year. Congrats." And it's kind of cool to think about how much I've been able to put out in the first year. Like 19 videos counting this one, not terrible. Like I definitely wish I was more consistent with it, but there are times where you have to take care of other things, and this was a big year. Like I graduated, I got my first job, my first real job out of college, and it's not like I'm fighting for my life underemployed right now. Like this is a job at a legitimate company, so I'm not doing terrible. Going forward, would definitely love to improve on just posting more. So, whether that ends up being 20 videos next year or 40, who knows? But getting more out there would not be too bad. And the ultimate goal, obviously, who doesn't want to make a buck? Who doesn't want to make a little bit of money off of YouTube? So we'll see. I do remember in the beginning, I was super just like, oh, I need to do all this stuff to grow and da da da. And now I'm just kind of more like, okay, I'll just put stuff out there that I like. And right now, more than anything, I just kind of want to learn how to make more things that I would at least want to watch or that I would at least find interesting on my own. So we're gonna make that a bit more of a priority going into next year. Post more, learn how to make stuff a little bit better, and have fun with it. So, yeah, that's it.